I'm Brandon Isaac. This is Tamika Isaac. We are the founders of Jace's Journey, and we are interviewing Jessica and Rodney, who have had uh, what's the word I'm looking for? A journey similar to ours with childbirth and child loss. Uh, Trying to work out some technical difficulties. But we are here interviewing Jessica and Rodney, and we are just gonna get some questions about their journey, what all they went through, what brought them to this point in their lives, and just have a friendly, informative conversation with some friends just to see what's going on.
So I guess I'll start because it's my idea. So, and I'm moving out of the camera. Sorry. So Jessica, Rodney, thank you for joining us. And I want to put out a disclaimer to everybody watching or whoever's watching that if you've had any type of infant loss or been through an IVF journey or anything, this could be a trigger for you. So protect your mental health. We love y'all, but if y'all can't, watch it, don't, to protect your space. But we have today Rodney and Jessica. We met Rodney and Jessica through Kindermorn. After we lost Jace, and we kind of connected and went to dinner, and then the world closed. So we've been in touch, but not as as much as you can be during a pandemic. So first, Jessica, can you tell us a little bit about when you got pregnant with the twins and what that was like?
So I got pregnant with the twins. Well, I found out I was pregnant with them October the 5th, 2018. After we went through the beginning part of our IVF treatment, and after my egg retrieval, shortly after my egg retrieval was on September the 22nd, and then October the 5th, I found that I was pregnant with the twins. Mm-hmm. So we was excited because I wasn't supposed to get pregnant with the twins. I was supposed to get pregnant. That's it. That's all, so nervous and excited all at the same time.
Yes.
The pregnancy seemed to be healthy, seemed to be a healthy pregnancy. When the nurse called and told me that I was pregnant, it was early. I think I was maybe 2 weeks pregnant.
Wow.
No to do an ultrasound. They found it out through my blood, through my HCG level. And then so when I was about 5 weeks, I think I was 5 weeks, and when I finally had my first ultrasound, and they saw a little small fetal pole, and they were like, well, you're having one baby. And then I went back that next week because every Wednesday I had to go to Reach to get ultrasounds done. And then when I went back that next week, I was 6 weeks, and then they saw 2 embryos. They saw 2 sacs. And the doctor brought another doctor. He was like, there's no way that you're pregnant with twins. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And we was like, I was like, do I see 2?
Yeah.
Gestational sacs on there?
At first we seen the 2, but we didn't say nothing. We was looking on as he was, but then we could see from his expression, from his face, he seen 2 as well. So he was kind of bewildered about the situation at the time. He didn't say nothing. He just got up and left out the room and went and got another doctor to verify, I guess. So
I have one question about the IVF. So when they implanted the egg, how many did they use? Was it 2?
Well, no, they went to go take the eggs out.
Oh, right. That's right.
Eggs out. They got 18 eggs out when they took them out.
Yeah.
That's right.
They fertilized the eggs.
Okay.
And that was it. But what happened was I was already
Mm-hmm.
pregnant. What happened was I don't know how the pregnancy happened. I don't know how it happened because they had me on shots. I know how it happened. I don't really know when it happened. We don't know when it happened.
Exactly.
They had me on medicine that I wouldn't ovulate, to stop me from ovulating and to keep it from dropping.
So you were pregnant, and then they put another pregnancy in there as well.
No.
They'd taken the eggs out.
Oh.
The eggs out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Part B, second part.
They realized she was pregnant through her blood work.
Yeah. because we was waiting for my cycle to come on so we could do the transfer. That's when they put the embryo in.
Right.
But my cycle never come on. They put me on medicine to make the cycle come on, but it never came.
Oh.
So 10 days later, they was like, okay, well, you come back and we'll do blood work. And I went in for the blood work at that like 5 o'clock that morning. And then 2 o'clock that evening, the nurse called me and she was like, you're actually pregnant. What, girl? What, girl?
So did y'all get some money back because they really did help y'all out?
That was a good question. We was looking for our money.
We were looking for money, but I guess the money we put for the first one transferred to the second procedure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So go ahead. Sorry.
So I went through the 10 weeks of the pregnancy with Reach, and I had ultrasounds like every week. The twins were doing very well. They were growing very well. Baby B was, she moved like a whole lot faster than baby A. So after that, they sent me over to Novant, Providence OBGYN, where Dr. Jones was my doctor. She was an excellent doctor.
Yeah.
And
shout out to Dr. Jones.
I know. And then we saw maternal fetal, and everything was well. All was well. I went to the doctor a lot. Pregnant with fraternal twins, I went to the doctor a whole lot.
But she had a lot of,
but I had a lot of pain, like a lot of pain. Like I was in a lot of pain, and they would bring me in for ultrasound and say, "Oh, you're fine." And then after a while, they were like, "Oh, okay, well, you're just stretching. You're supposed to have pain because you're pregnant with twins, Right. And I thought it was abnormal. My family thought it was abnormal. My husband thought it was abnormal. I stayed in the bed. It was awful. It hurt to walk. Everything hurt. But everything was well. They kept saying, it's, your pregnancy is going well. That was it.
Then also hit us with, since it's been your first pregnancy, we don't have no, what they call data.
Yeah, no data. Yeah, they kept saying.
Historical data based. Okay, gotcha.
Based off of, so they're saying right now we just got to go off what's going on.
Because I felt like they was using me as a guinea pig.
Yeah.
For real, after it was all over and said, I really felt like they was using me as a guinea pig versus helping me.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So we got to the 18-week mark, and we were actually had an appointment to find out what the babies were. One of the OBGYN, one of the ultrasound techs told me that it was 2 girls, when in reality it was a boy and a girl. Yeah. But our appointment was 2 weeks after we lost the babies. So I think our appointment was on the 15th or 16th or something like that. Mm-hmm. One of those days that we were supposed to have it done. But I was in a lot of pain. We went to New Year's Eve service at my church. Yeah. On the 31st, December the 31st, and I was in a lot of pain, like a lot of discomfort. Yeah. It's just not good.
Why do you feel like they use you as a guinea pig? Like what's that?
They were saying things like, oh, because I kept going to the hospital. Like I think every Wednesday I was at the hospital.
They were pretty much saying twins.
Yeah.
So this is her first pregnancy and it's twins. There's no research out there for first pregnancy with twins,
with fraternal
twins to base her put her in the category.
Because I was doing a lot of bleeding.
Yeah, still doing a lot of bleeding the whole pregnancy, and that's when we stayed at the hospital for the whole entire time for after the first 6 weeks we stayed in the hospital, at least going to the emergency room or to the
maternal fetal
for the first at least once or twice a week. Mm-hmm. For the complications she was having, with us being newly parents and going through this for the first time, we didn't know ourselves. So we thought it was best to take her in, get us checked out, but they was telling the same thing. She's fine. Mm-hmm. The baby's still doing good. It's normal. There's a lot of bleeding with twins.
Did they do blood and urine tests and all that stuff too?
No.
One time. Yeah. The whole time. That was in
the beginning?
Yeah. They did the blood.
That was Reach. You did that.
Yeah, that was Reach. You did that. Yeah.
So your OB never did anything?
No.
We really didn't even get.
I only seen Dr. Jones maybe twice during pregnancy. I seen maternal fetal more.
Yeah.
Than I seen Dr. Jones.
Yeah.
Maternal fetal still didn't do any blood work or anything.
Yeah. They didn't even, not even with my son RJ. They never did any blood or urine work. Never.
Yeah. Why you still go back to them?
I don't know. You know, I tried to.
It wasn't the OBG. It was, I don't know. I guess it was with the.
And I wanted to go back to Providence and maternal fetal because they knew my situation when it came to the twins.
Yes, that's why we went by the second time. Because they already have research and records, so we couldn't hear that no more. Mm-hmm. Instead of changing doctor hospitals, and then they're like, well, we don't have this, we don't communicate with this hospital.
Right.
Because we know Novant and what's the other one? Atrium. They do not communicate with each other, so we didn't want to change hospitals or go another route. Then it would be hearing the same thing again.
And then keep telling people like exactly what happened. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I get it. So, where you said you were at 18 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then you said it was New Year's Eve.
It was New Year's Eve. So went to New Year's Eve service. All was well. You know, I'm just had my regular pain.
Yeah.
But this pain though was different, like really different. Mm-hmm. And I went to the bathroom. There's this missionary at my church. She came back and she prayed for me. And we went on home. I came on home, got into bed. By that time, it was January 1st. So I came on home, and I made salmon patties for our New Year's dinner. Salmon patties and grits. That's what we was having. Right. While I was in the kitchen, I was like leaning over like the sink and over the stove. Like I was in so much pain. And so by this time, I'm afraid because I done been to the doctor so many times. They done sent me home, told me I was okay. So I had developed a fear of going to the doctor because then they was trying to make me feel like I was crazy. Then, oh, there's nothing wrong. You're having twins. The babies are fine. You know, I done had them on ultrasound so many times. So I just thought it was normal pain, but the pain had got worse. So when that night, New Year's Day night, January 1st, that night, I was getting ready to walk upstairs to go get in the bed, and I fell. Like, I couldn't walk. Like, I didn't have no movement in my legs. Like, I could not move at all. So.
What happened?
And she's gone.
Somebody beat them.
Sorry, my mom keeps calling.
Oh. Yes. Ain't us over here. We ain't do nothing wrong, man.
Can you see us?
No.
It looks like you have a curtain camera there.
Please hold.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's okay.
Okay. Your browser lost. What do you mean my browser lost connection?
There it is.
Don't tell me that story. Okay, there we go. And we're back.
And we're back.
That was a nice commercial break. And we're back. So, all right. So, Rodney helped me upstairs. As soon as I laid down in the bed, he said, "Baby, I'm gonna be right back." I laid down in the bed. He went downstairs, and my water broke in the bed. Yeah. Gush of water all over the place in the bed. And I was screaming. I was like, Rodney. He comes running upstairs. But after my water broke, I felt like relief because I was in so much pain. Mm-hmm. And so before I panicked, like after my water broke, you hear this big old pop, my water broke. And after it broke, I was like, because I had been in pain like the whole pregnancy. And so after that, I was like, oh my God, my water broke. Something is happening, you know. So we went, called the ambulance. The ambulance came. And they, looked, and they was like, okay, I feel like your water broke. Mm-hmm. So they got me to the hospital. They didn't rush me, though. Got me to the hospital because I wasn't 20 weeks yet. When they took me to the back of the emergency room, there was this hateful, nasty black lady.
Hey, what emergency room did y'all go to?
Novant. Yeah. Presbyterian Novant emergency room.
And we had a similar lady like that in Pineville. And I still don't like that lady.
That lady, I wish I could see her somewhere. Lady, if you
Me
listening.
too. Yeah, me too. I feel you.
So they the lady was like, "Oh well, you're gonna have to take her out there to the waiting room."
Yeah.
And the lady, the EMT said,
No.
when we got to her house, her bed was soaked. No, you need to find a room for her. So they put me in a room, found a room for me. We went back there to the room.
It was still emergency department.
And we waited a long time. A long time. And the doctor finally came back there. He was like, "Oh well, we were in, they had put me on the blood pressure machine." And he was telling me, "Well, your blood pressure is not spiking, so we feel as though that you're not in any type of pain, because if you was in pain, your blood pressure would be up.
Yeah.
Your temperature is fine, so we know you don't have an infection." And I'm trying to tell him, like, "Sir, my water broke. You can't tell me that my water didn't break." Okay, so meanwhile, back at the ranch, I suffered with something called polycystic ovarian syndrome. So they know that. So then he was saying, "Well, maybe, I feel like I don't think that your water broke. It's too early for your water to break. I think that you had a ruptured cyst." Mm-hmm. Something that I have had in the past. Right. And then so he said, "So we're going to just go ahead to the bathroom and we're going to get you ready for your ultrasound." So that people are going to come back, you go to the bathroom, and then they're going to come here and they're going to get you, and then you're going to go on back to ultrasound. We're going to get you ready and you're going to go home. Okay, I'm happy by this point, because this is a doctor telling me that I'm fine.
Right.
Maybe my water didn't break. So this is when the manure hits the fan. So mind you, I wasn't in any pain by this time. Right. I wasn't in any pain.
I was going to ask that.
So I went to the bathroom. Rodney said, "You want me to go to the bathroom with you?" I said, "Yeah." So he came, he stood at the door. He stood like at the door while I was inside the bathroom. And when I sat down on the toilet, my son, baby A, came out while I was using the bathroom. His feet was dangling while I was using the bathroom.
Well, you didn't. She did. She said she felt something.
So I was screaming in the bathroom. I said, "Something's coming out. It's something coming out." Like, I'm screaming, "Something's coming out." I'm pulling the thing, because, in the bathroom, you got like this little cord that you can pull. I'm pulling the cord for somebody to come. Nobody comes.
I had to go and
he went and got somebody. He came and looked and saw our baby's feet was dangling. Half his body was dangling out of my body. And then so the nurses came, like people that didn't even work at the hospital came to help me, like, out of the bathroom. They got a wheelchair and they took me back to the room that I was in.
One nurse was from labor delivery. She was passing through the emergency room.
Yeah.
She was actually exiting out the building to leave her shift, and she was passing through the emergency room, and I guess she was going to talk to a colleague or whatever, and she helped us out, and she wanted to get us up to labor and delivery.
So when the doctor came in the room, did he not check anything?
No.
We getting to that.
So before we went to labor and delivery, they got me out the bathroom in a wheelchair. From the wheelchair to the bed. Now, by this time, because I have a baby hanging out of me, they have all these blankets, and they was bringing like all these looking
buckets,
bowls and buckets in the room. Like, a lot of people, they was bringing large Q-tips and buckets. I don't really know what that was supposed to be all about, but they was bringing all of that in the room. And I'm just looking around like, what are y'all doing? Like, what are y'all about to do? So I'm crying. And the doctor came in and lifted my blanket up. And he said, "Oh shit."
Excuse the language. Yes.
And he threw the blanket back down and walked out. I haven't seen that man again since.
Yep.
And then one of the ladies came, transport. Huh?
You remember that doctor's name?
We reported him.
We reported him. Well, our OBGYN, Dr. Jones, we told her the situation, and she actually took him to the medical board. Mm-hmm. So he has been dealt with for that situation.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So after that, transport came, and transport was running the bed. And I say running, she was like running the bed up to labor and delivery. She was running the bed to labor and delivery. And when I got to labor and delivery, then I finished delivering Elijah. That's his name. And we named him Elijah. I finished delivering Elijah. Elijah.
Number 3.
I finished delivering him, and then still pregnant with baby B, which is baby Ava. And she was doing very well. very well, very lively. She's always been alive. She was always a lively baby anyway. So, Dr. Moore, that was her name, Dr. Moore. She was a very hateful doctor, very hateful. And she was like, "Oh, well, you're gonna have your next baby in at least 2 hours." So they kept me in labor and delivery until I think like the middle of the night, until like the next day, until the middle. So Elijah was actually born on the 2nd. We got to the hospital on the 1st, but he was born on the 2nd.
Like 2 or 3 o'clock.
Like,
how long was that period that you came to the emergency room? The doctor came in and said OS, and then
when
that was about 2-hour period.
Yeah, I got there at like 10, from like 10 to 12.
Yeah, 10 to 12. Yeah.
Because I had Elijah at 12:03, I believe.
Okay.
I had gave birth to him at 12:03. So I got there like 10 something. And then from 10 to 12:03.
Okay.
So we got ready to so everything was great when we got ready. So Ava was great. She act like she wasn't even trying to be born. Mm-hmm. And so they kept saying, "You gotta have her. Yeah. You gotta have her. This, that, and third. You gotta have her." And they go on and on. RJ's back. So they kept saying, "You gotta have her. You gotta have her." By this time, I told them, "Get out of my room." By this time, I got very hateful with them because you're not gonna tell me that I have to give birth to a lively baby.
Right.
There's no way.
Which we didn't understand because, with them being fraternal twins, they both had their own gestational sac. Mm-hmm. So we didn't see no reason to abort her.
Right.
Yeah, she had her own gestational sac and she was doing well. Heartbeat staying steady. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with no signs of breaching or none of that.
So they told me that this was on a Wednesday. They told me, they said, if you don't have baby B by Thursday, which was the 3rd, that by 8 o'clock that I can have a cyclage done for her.
What's that?
And they that's when they go in and tie your cervix up. They told me, they promised me that if I didn't have her by 8 o'clock that Thursday morning, that I could have a cyclage done.
And that would just keep her in your...
Yes, and they would keep her, and that would carry her to term, and I would get to have her, keep her.
Right.
So...
But then they also talk about the bacteria.
So they kept saying that I was gonna die, I could get an infection if I don't have her, then I could have an infection. It was just too much to deal with. But I kept refusing to have her. So we prayed because like now it's my life on the line. You know what I mean? But right. I still refused to have her.
Right.
So I prayed because I wasn't having no contractions or nothing. She wasn't acting like she wanted to be born. Also, they wound up coming in there 8 o'clock that morning. Maternal feeder came. Dr. Sutton, she was my maternal feeder doctor. She came in. She did an ultrasound.
Very great doctor.
And she said, "I'm sorry. She's too close to the cervix. You can't have a cyclage done. Yeah. You have to have her." So I still was refusing, like, I'm not going to have her. You can get out. You can take that computer. That computer can get out. I don't care what you're talking about. She was still really calm. She was like, "Jessica, if you don't do this, you can have an infection." And I just told them I'm not having them. So that's just the end of it. I'm not having them. So I prayed to God. We prayed. And not even an hour later, not even 30 minutes later, then the contraction started back up. Like as soon as we got down praying, the contraction started up, So I felt like that was our sign from God saying, "Okay, you know what? Trust me. You can do this." You know what I mean? Just do it. You can have her. So they took us back up to labor and delivery because they took us down to the women's ward and the women's ward. And then they took me back up to labor and delivery. And they put me on the baby monitor. So I was on the baby monitor. And then I just went through like the whole shebang. Like,
they gave you
they gave me Pitocin, and they also gave me an epidural. They gave me an epidural before the Pitocin though.
Yeah. Okay.
And then that was probably like maybe one-ish when it all started, and then I had her like 6 or 7, and that was it. You know, it was devastating. It was difficult. I went through a really bad depression.
Yeah.
It was really, really bad because I just couldn't understand. You know, I felt like I really, as far as Ava is concerned, I always felt like I murdered my child. You know what I mean? Like, but there was nothing that I could do. There's nothing I can do about it. You know, it was out of my hands.
Yeah.
Elijah, he was going to come whether we wanted him to come or not. You know, so that's our story. You know, concerning the twins. Anyway.
Yeah. So, and I understand your pain with all of it. And, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't really realize when we first talked. I think I remember we talking about the doctor shit though. I think I remember. But so, like I said, we met through Kindermorn. How did you guys process losing the twins? Like what did that look like for y'all?
It
was very different for both of us, opposite, for her it was much harder. She was more, it was real bad where she constantly cried. It was nothing I can do but console her the whole time, check on her, constantly when I was had to go to work, constantly call her, check on her, make sure she's all right. Sometimes I had to take time off from work to be with her. And that's what really led us to Kindermorn, where we can go and talk to a counselor, and get her outlet where she can release some of this depression and the feelings she had built up. And mainly me, I was, say it again.
Would you say that going to Kindermorn and going through that grief processing and like everything they did, would you say that helped y'all out? Or
oh yes, it helped a lot.
I would say Kindermorn. I went most of the time. I was crazy. I went literally crazy after having the twins. And I went to Kindermorn, and one of the days that I went to Kindermorn, I was angry. I was angry with the world. And I got in there with that lady, and I was throwing pillows, tissue boxes. But that lady, she wasn't afraid. She allowed me to feel whatever I felt. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. What helped us was having another child, getting pregnant with another child, because I went to Kindermorn all the way up until the day that I found out that I was pregnant with RJ.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Kindermorn. As a matter of fact, I went to Kindermorn I found out I was pregnant with him April 12th. And that next week I had an appointment with them. And it's like, although I was afraid because of losing the twins, I had a fear of losing the twins. After I found out I was pregnant with RJ, it's like all of that depression, all of that stuff that I felt when I was pregnant with the twins, it's like it all vanished. Mm. So the lady was like, well, do you think that you need more classes? And I was like, no. Subsequent parenting. No. I don't need to do that. She's like, are you sure? You think it'll help? No. Hey, just send me a bill. That's what you can do. Because I think that I'm done here. And that's what happened. And I had my husband, I had my friends, I had my sons and the twins' godparents. I had support. We had support.
Yeah, that's important.
That's really important. So you went ahead and transitioned into the next step, right? So you had the twins, and then how soon after all of that happened did you guys start IVF?
My 6th week, I was, as a matter of fact, we went in for my 6th-week checkup. Dr. Jones said, I don't think that it's wise. I don't think that it's wise that you do the next part of IVF treatment. And I told her, I just came to tell you that we're doing the next part of IVF treatment. So I had gave birth to the twins on the 2nd and the 3rd.
January. Yeah.
You don't want it? But we so I had them on the second and third, and then so by February, maybe the second week in February, we started the IVF, the second part of the IVF treatment. So
tell us about IVF. How was that? Like, tell us about that process.
So the second part, they get you started on some more birth control, which I didn't really want to do birth control.
So what they're doing is simulating that your body is pregnant.
That's
so they
kind
want
of how
to
it's like.
preset the body of thinking it's pregnant already. So when you're pregnant, your ovaries shuts down, and you don't do your women don't have the cycle, so they shutting all that down, the part of the body. And that's what the process led to for the second procedure.
So they had to get shots, several shots.
Daily.
I remember talking about those.
In the back.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had to become a nurse.
Every day. I had shots in the stomach, in the back, and I had patches. And we did that from February to April to March. I had my embryo transfer on April the 1st.
Yeah.
So it's a very quick process, but it's very stressful.
4 weeks.
So you going through the second part, you have like the needles are very long. So it's about that long. And it's just very painful and very stressful. As for us women that have to go through it, you nice one day, you hateful the next, you're calm one day and you crazy the next. Like, it's bananas.
Yeah.
But as long as you do what you're supposed to do, like taking the shots, going to the doctor, because I had to go to the doctor every week with them too, because they had to take my blood to make sure, check my progesterone and my estrogen.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
My progesterone and estrogen level. And so many needle sticks.
Yeah.
And I had to have a mock transfer done.
What is that?
This when they take like a water capsule and they shoot it in your uterus, and they check the thickness in there to see where they're going to plant the embryo.
To place the embryo.
Oh, okay.
And everything worked perfect. Everything went perfect.
So how many eggs did they put in there when they did
just one?
Oh, they only did one?
Mm-hmm. Because Reach.
Usually
North Carolina don't do two anymore.
Yeah, they usually can implant you with two, and you can either like go through twins or but they said it's best, and they get a better percentage of completion is to do one.
Yeah, so North Carolina, some places will, but it's according to Dr. Whelan. Shout out to Dr. Whelan, he's an excellent doctor.
Yes.
He said that North Carolina do not implant two embryos at a time anymore. They only do one at a time. So what they do is how they try to figure out which one they're going to do is when they make the embryos, which the embryos have been made way in September.
Yeah.
And so they grade them.
Yeah.
They grade them. I think the number is like 1 through 10, and they grade them. So RJ embryo was the highest grade embryo. Okay. So all of our embryos graded well.
Okay.
It's the highest grade.
Okay.
So when April 1st came around, my parents, shout out to my parents, they came down here and they supported. They said that they were great support as well. And they came down here and we went and got pregnant, got knocked up. And it was, y'all know I can't stay serious. I know.
No, thank you for that.
Really, it was a whole lot better.
And the fact that we've all been through it and can still joke and laugh and still have a good time is perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Don't apologize for being you, boo boo.
Thank you. So we had found out. So we had an embryo transfer on the 1st, April 1st, and then April 12th, I had to go in 6:00 in the morning, and I found out they did my blood work. They called about 2:00. They was like, congratulations, you're pregnant. I cried and cried and cried. Very excited. But still, had that fear. Even though we were happy, I was very happy. But I was very fearful. Fear, that I need to have my cyclage done because I kept going to the hospital. Now with RJ, there was nothing wrong.
Right.
Bleeding, no, nothing. His pregnancy was perfect, textbook. But because I had a fear, I kept going to the hospital. They was like, "Are you really in pain?" Yes, I'm really in pain.
But it was just Clyde at this time. It was just Clyde who caused all her pain.
And then so I wound up having that.
The what, Rodney?
The cyclage.
It was.
After I had the cyclage done, I wound up having a lot of pain. I had pain throughout the rest of the pregnancy.
Okay.
After I had cyclage because the heavier RJ got, the more he was pressing down on that cyclage. Mm-hmm. So he's pressing down on it, and nothing that you can do when there's a cyclage there. So you got something holding a body part together, and then but yet something pressing down on it.
Yeah. And with it being unnatural to the body didn't like it. So,
it was awful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we got through it. We got through it. He was actually born. He was born exactly 9 months after. He was born exactly 9 months later after this class. So I had him December the 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And we had him implanted April 1st.
Yeah.
And around the same time as well. So I had him like 1209.
Yep.
1209, and I think I had my embryo transferred like around 12-ish.
That was like 10.
Wow.
I think it was 10.
Was it 10-ish?
Yeah, it was like 10 that morning.
Yeah, it's like 10-ish.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good. You guys, wow,
it's a lot.
It's a lot, right? But you came out on the other side of it. Mm-hmm. And you have RJ who's been trying to get on camera for a little while. I think she's getting RJ.
Yeah, she's going to get him. He's a handful. He's 6 months come Monday.
She said that.
Yeah, he's growing. He's developing fast. I say that. His habits has increased to match mine almost. And he's doing pretty good sitting up and trying to talk.
He what? Trying to talk. We lost y'all again.
There you go. So as
we're back.
So as a father going through all of this, Rodney, like what kind?
She coming back.
Rodney.
I'm out of shape.
Hey, Rodney.
So here he is.
Oh,
he's cute.
Here.
Hey.
Can you hear us?
Yeah,
yes.
We can hear you.
I can't hear you.
He didn't do anything.
Okay, here.
Hello?
Okay.
Can y'all hear us now?
Maybe it'll come back on.
Hey.
Can y'all hear us?
We can't hear.
Technical difficulties we're having right now.
Let's see.
Hello?
How did I get on this? Oh, I get on like that. Can't hear.
We haven't changed anything.
Everybody calling me.
Tossing you home. Where else would I be? Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Because I can't hear a thing. How you hang up? I'm trying to.
That's good.
Can y'all hear us?
Yes.
They can hear, and we can hear them on that phone, over there on that phone.
Okay.
Can you hear it now?
Okay, say something.
Something.
Bless you.
Bless you. What is that? Bless you.
Bless you.
Okay. Is his face dirty?
Jessica, can you hear us?
She said, "Can you hear us now?"
Well, it's not too much of a delay.
What'd he say?
I said it's not too much of a delay, so you might just have to.
We can't hear nothing. So we having technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on with your phone.
I'm mad now.
Why are you mad? Can you hear us now?
Go out and come back in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just get to see my wonderful tattoo. So there are some questions on there. We're gonna try to reconnect them so we can ask some of the questions that we have on there.
Thank you guys. Yeah, she's gonna disconnect and try again.
So it's
Monica, I got your question.
It's not us.
Waiting on them to come back. Does she have a trans abdominal or vaginal cerclage?
Okay, I hear something. I hear it.
Okay, we're back. We can hear you now.
And they're back. So we have a in the comments. Did you have a trans abdominal or vaginal cerclage?
Vaginal.
Okay. Yeah, that didn't sound like a lot of fun at all. So we have RJ now. RJ will be 6 months on Monday. He's such a cutie. And so I guess everybody wants to know: you guys gonna have more kids, or you done with RJ?
Everybody been asking that question.
They all ask that question.
Her parents actually think she's pregnant now, but
I'm not
she's
pregnant.
not.
Let the world hear that.
Yeah, I think they all.
We are gonna have more children.
Yeah.
But just one more. Just one.
Okay. Well, good.
And but I don't know if we want to do the IVF treatment again.
Okay.
We also have to go to the second part.
Yeah, so we already have the embryos.
We don't have to do the first part. We only have to do the second part.
Oh, okay. So
once you have your eggs and your embryos, they save them and they hold them for you. And it's up to you to discard them or to keep them. So right now we see them keeping them for us. Mm-hmm. And so in case we do want to go back through them, we already have the embryo saved up. She just have to go back through the needle part again, and they will.
But our embryos are tested, so we do know how many boys or how many girls we have.
Yes.
Wow.
We only have 4. Well, we only have 4.
Yeah, 4 eggs left.
So he's 1. He was 1, so we have 3 more left.
Okay.
And so if we do choose, then we do know that we want a girl, and then so we won't go through the gender reveal and stuff like that. Okay. We're just what you want to go?
So, somebody asked, does insurance pay for that? I think some people's insurance plans do, some people's don't. It just depends on how your insurance set up. How did that work for you all?
So they got the Blue Cross. So we do have Blue Cross Blue Shield, but Blue Cross Blue Shield has like a sister insurance that goes with it. Like and that insurance is called Progeny. It's very small. So a lot of people don't know about it. It's called Progeny.
Progeny?
Progeny, yeah.
Okay.
Progeny is an insurance for IVF.
Yeah.
IUI, I think that's what it's called. I think it's called IUI. Like different type of progeny insurance is set aside for things like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So if it's not covered through your job or because that's the way that's structured. Because while I was going through the IVF treatment, they wound up changing the insurance to progeny. And I was like, wait a minute now. Wait, what's going on? So I called them and I called Progeny. they told me that it was going to be starting April 1st. And because I had already started the process, I couldn't be on. Was still on Progeny. The Progeny couldn't cover me. I had to continue to go through Blue Cross Blue Shield. But Progeny is not like you can get it by itself too. You know what I mean? Like it don't have to come through your job. Okay. You can just it's like an individual insurance that you can get as well. Okay. So I feel like they need to like put like I told Progeny, I feel like y'all need to like get some commercials out there or something like let people know that you're out there for women that's trying to do it. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's a lot of money, you know, once you think about it, it's a lot of money, but then at the end, when you have your child, it's all worth it. You know what I mean? Like the child is priceless. So Progeny is the insurance that you want to go through if that's something that you look, you know, something that you want to look to do. And they'll cover you a free cycle, like from the beginning to the end. They'll cover it like they'll give you one free cycle. So you just pay them and they'll pay whoever you go to.
Wow, that's good information right there.
Yeah.
I've never heard of them before. So I have a question for you. You guys started. Why did you start? Did you do IVF because of your PCOS the first time? Yeah. Okay.
What's PCOS?
Polycystic. Say it.
Polycystic ovarian syndrome. So what happened was I was going to a doctor, and the doctor was kept putting me on Clomid. Kept putting me on Clomid, and I could never get pregnant with the Clomid. And that she was weird though. I mean, she was so great, but she was a weird doctor. And she was like, you know what? I know Dr. Whelan over there at Reach, and you need to go over there. You need to go over there to Reach. I'm gonna call them for you, and you need to go over there because I'm not gonna put you on Clomid no more until you go over there. She was so motherly, you know. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make the appointment. And she actually made me make the appointment right there in her office. Wow. And I made the appointment, and we went, and when we first went, I was like, this is not something that we can do.
Yeah, because we was looking at the price tags on it. We were looking at the prices and everything, the long-term situations we had to do, and it was a lot to just take in on that little 30-minute tour of the building and talking to the doctor and stuff. So
I said, this is not something that we can't do this. So, but just trying to get pregnant because we've been married 10 years this year, November the 5th. And thank you. So we was just trying. It just wasn't happening, and it gets discouraging. It really gets discouraging. Yeah. But after a while, we was like, okay, you know what? There's nothing to it but to do it. So let's just try it. We've tried everything else. The worst thing we can hear is no.
So what advice would y'all give to parents or or whoever that might be going through a similar situation? Like what do you think could help somebody out who had to experience the same journey that you guys went on, or what kind of tips would you give them?
One of the things that I hated to hear was be patient. I hated to hear be patient.
Yeah.
I hate that. Don't tell me to be patient. I still hate it today. But honestly, that's just what we have to do. You know what I mean? But it's not easy to be patient. It's not easy because we don't know, you know what I mean, like when it's gonna happen. We just have to believe that it's gonna happen. And one thing my pastor said when we found out we was pregnant with twins, because we announced it to my church, he said, faith without works is dead. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. And so what we did was we put our faith to the pedal. Mm-hmm. We did everything that we knew to do.
And we did the work.
And we, because a lot of people like, oh, IVF treatment, no. Christian people, they just some Christian people, because I'm a Christian. I'm saying some Christian people, they so high sedity that they don't believe in modern medicine. Mm-hmm. But works without faith is dead. You know what I mean? That's just the bottom line, about it all. But I would say keep trying and exhaust everything that you can exhaust in you to make sure, because you don't want to be 50, 11 years old and then you saying that, well, I did, because you at least have to try to do it. Even if it doesn't work. I'm always going to say that it's going to work because it worked for us. You know what I mean? but you have to like exhaust everything in you. Like I wanted a child so bad that IVF was our last resort.
Right.
And I was like, oh, we can't do this. But then we decided to put our faith to the metal and just do it.
We lost y'all again. Oh, there you go.
Can y'all hear us?
Turn your answer on.
Can y'all hear us?
Yeah, we back.
Okay.
I'm a popular person. I'm just so popular.
We can tell.
How did?
That's my advice. My advice is good. Make sure you exhaust everything in you to do it. You know what I mean? And then you rally up you some support. You get around some women, some men, some couples that has done it. Get you some advice on doing it, and that's about it.
Okay, so what's Rodney's viewpoint on it? What would you say to fathers that kind of have to help on this journey? What advice would you give to fathers who kind of have to be that backbone and that support, but they might feel like they don't have the support and whatnot that they need? How would you give them advice, or what would you say to them?
My advice is that being as the man is come obviously, and through nature that we be the strong point, the strong arm, the shoulder to lean on, and that's all good and said and done. But still, you want to make sure you still going through this experience yourself. So you got to also set aside time for yourself to heal. You got to find ways to deal and cope your own ways. If you can't cope around with your spouse or your significant other, you can go to your own corner, and give time for yourself to relieve your stress, because it's traumatic for us as well. You also have feelings. People think being men don't cry. Men cry. I had to find myself in the corner and relieve my stress. I didn't want to do it in front of her because she already had enough going. Right. So, it's good to find your own space and time. It is good also to communicate with your significant other and let them know you also feel the same pain as well. Right. So, it's not good to hold it to yourself. It's good to talk and keep communication lines open, because it can create friction between you as well with your spouse. So, yes, you want to keep communicating and showing your love and your affection, and that it does affect you as well. So that's my advice.
Thank you for that, because that was good, because I've been saying the same thing, and it's like, it's hard just like coming from me, because like everybody, a lot of people don't see the male's perspective of it, so they think like like men don't cry, or we don't grieve the loss of a child, or it doesn't affect us the same way, and like we just got our own different hurdles to overcome, and it's hard trying to be a support system for somebody, but also needing support yourself. So it's also good to hear another man's perspective on it. So like we really appreciate you all sitting down with us and kind of chronicling y'all's journey with us, and just helping us answer a bunch of different questions, and just giving people insight on the world of IVF, infant loss, rainbow babies, and how wonderful RJ is. And he looks pretty happy and pretty cute. So we can't thank y'all enough for sharing y'all's journey with us. We appreciate y'all so much. And we just thank you for sharing a little bit of time with us, so we can share your story, hopefully, with the world. And we got the 5K coming up in October. So we would love to see you all out there, and RJ out there in costume, and bringing all the personalities that come with y'all. So we definitely appreciate it. I think we're wrapping up. We about hit the hour mark. So we thank you. We can't thank you enough. I don't know what else to say. I just appreciate it, man. This is great.
Yeah, thank you guys. Like, it's been actually, we're talking about some heavy stuff, but it's been real chill. Y'all silly as I don't know what, but y'all, so it works out. So thank y'all. RJ's beautiful. We're so happy for you guys that you guys got your rainbow baby, and you guys are smiling on the other side of the tragedy that you had to go through. So we appreciate you. Y'all know if y'all need us, we here. So thank you.
Thank you. And
And thank everybody for watching.
Thank everybody for watching, and we will be in touch.
All
right, bye.
All right, see you later.